Hi, it's David Smith again. For the second video today, we're going to do a hot rod. Now, recently I was asked for a logo uh, for a company, and it involved a hot rod. So I thought I'd turn it into a video. So what I've got is a bit like a wedge of cheese. What we're starting with, sloping wedge. Um, Now, I'm not being particularly car orientated. I can't tell you anything about what type of car it is. Obviously I've seen various cartoony hot rods and things like that from the past. I grew up on a diet of wacky racers and things like that, so that's where I draw a lot of my inspiration from when I'm after things like that for this type of car. So maybe about halfway through the wedge, that's where we're going to be looking at for the main body of the car, the roof and things like that. So as I start scribbling away, I'm just going to blast everything in really quick, putting in a lot of guides just to get the scaling right, really. But most cars, you can turn them into a hot rod version. It's just a case of accentuating certain elements, the tyres, exhaust and things like that. So once you've done this once, maybe have a go on the old family car and see what you could turn that into using these accentuated elements. So run down for the door at this part, and because of perspective and things anyway, we're always going to have this front part larger than the second, even if they were equidistant anyway, just for shortening reasons. So kind of at the back, what I'm going to start doing is putting in the large wing area for the expanded wheels. What we're looking now, part of the reason for doing this kind of wedge shape as well is we're going to have the expanded tyres at the back. So all the classic hot rod elements we're going to put into there. I'll come down onto the bonnet, the engine area. If you can still hear the wind, quite bad storms here last night, so we're all again functioning on very little sleep. Constantly felt like the roof was going to get ripped off last night because the winds were so strong. So we're at the front of the wedge now, where we're going to pop in the radiator. Pop in as well, again using the perspective. The lights, probably the start of the tyre. Look at getting it into some sort of position like that, and then off the bottom. Just gives us a bit of something to work to for the wheels. So we're looking at these large oval type shapes. And I am expecting more deliveries today, so if you suddenly hear the door go, I'll just have to pause and come back to it. So. As I've already mentioned, I'm terrible with cars. If anything needs fixing on my car, it has to go away to my mechanic buddy for him to fix. I can top the oil up in the water and that's about it, I'm afraid, so really don't ask me what any of these elements are called, apart from the obvious ones, because I'll probably give you the wrong answer. So. With a lot of the hot rods, they do seem to expose the engine area for you to be able to see into it and things like that, so that's kinda what I'm going to do with this engine. So although you've got the radiator area here at the front, as you start to look in the inside, a lot of this engine area would be exposed for you to directly see into. So what I'll do is I will rough all these elements in quite quickly. I will then take a line drawing from this. That will help me clean up a lot of the unwanted lines before we start putting in a lot of the additional detail. So, from the engine, I'm coming off with first part of the exhaust pipes up to the back of the car. Again, we want to accentuate this back area because we're going to have the exhaust pipes popping out the back. So, nearly like tractor wheels, these things at the back, they're enormous. But again, it helps sell the hot rod concept. Large ovals. And again, with stuff like this, have a play with it. I've seen it done many times where it looks like somebody's crushed the top of the car and the wheels have all sat in at a funny angle, more like, I guess, this kind of thing at the side. Personally, I don't like that particular approach, but it's everybody each to their own really with that kind of stuff. I prefer to play with the features, exaggerate them without it looking silly. Want it to feel like it could actually drive off if necessary. So again, put these in before we do the first part of our clean-up job. But you can start seeing it coming together now. So from that initial cheese wedge type of shape, throw a few lines in, start working it up, and then all of a sudden we really start bringing it together. So that's the first part. So I'm just going to clean this up and then start the video again, so we're not obviously delaying the video too long, but I'll catch you on the other side. Cheers. So as you can see, we're back. I've cleaned up a lot of the lines now, just sharpened up some of the details, and now I'm just going to go and put in the second bunch of the detail before we start inking in any of the lines. So kind of through the back of the car, roughly see back window, and you can put the other windows at the other side, but it's only meant to be a very simplistic hot rod anyway, so it's up to you what level of detail that you're wanting to put into there anyway, and what kind of end product you're going for. So we've got the first part of the exhaust pipes here, and have them coming out of the back. And it's all about making it look obviously mean, fun, over the top, completely over the top, so you can really go to town with these kind of details and things like that. And I mean, have a look around, have a look at some of the custom cars which have they've been making over the last couple of years and things like that. Some of these car rallies, particularly in America, they seem to do more of this for your inspiration, and then really go to town with it. So again, I can clean up these details, anything I'm not quite happy with. Again, you can clean up using a light box or take it over to the window, trace off the lines. You don't have to redraw them out. We've got these things now to help us out, so possibly along the front, coming up the sides of the old classic flames as well. And if you like what you see here and you want me to do any other hot rods or anything like that, car drawings, by all means leave me a comment. As I've mentioned, I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to cars, so if everything's slightly out, please forgive me on it. You don't have to pull me over the coals because the exhaust is too large for this particular vehicle. It's just a drawing at the end of the day. I'm not going to put it into developments, that is for sure. So put the grille detail in, and then underneath that other wheel somewhere in this kind of area. So if I just block out shadow underneath the vehicle, give it a bit of presence, give it a bit of solidity so it looks like it's actually sat there. Once you've got it to this stage, the easiest thing to do then is to go in with the markers. Spend ages cleaning it all up, or you can just go over it. So around the outside, like we've done with some of our characters, thicker outer edge. with thinner internals. Just gives it that real cartoony feel. Gives it a bit of presence on the page. So again, any line where you only see one side of it. So with this line, because you're seeing two sides of it, you would have it thinner. With this one, because it's on the inside of the wheel, you're only seeing one side of it, go for a fatter line. That way, when you're finished, it gives it a real sense of again, solidity, I suppose. It gives it that structural dimension, that cartoony feel as well. So in these ones, because you're seeing both lines, go in with fine liner or slightly thinner pen. Once you've got all these particular lines in, these outer lines and stuff, you can then really start going to town with the level of detail that you want to put. There's the post. Again, a lot of the detail I'm kind of glossing over it because I don't honestly know what a lot of these things do. So I'm kind of intimating even, certainly in this area down here, intimating various elements, and well, there's some complex metalwork in there which is supporting the wheels and things like that, but I couldn't tell you what all the elements are, so we're just kind of putting them in loose at this stage and just letting the mind kind of fill in the blanks, I suppose. Just a case of showing that there's all these various structures down here. If you want to do it really accurate and reference a proper hot rod and the engine and things like that, that's fine. That's fine. It's just a case of showing you how to initially construct a hot rod. From what you do with it after that point, that's entirely up to you. The more you experiment, as with all these things, the better you'll get. So draw these elements in. I'll black these elements right in off the camera as I finish. Okay, so as you can see, I will carry on with this anyway to finish it off, to put onto the page icon. But from our initial cheese wedge, now we've broken it down, started putting all the elements in, the expanded tyres, the overly large exhaust pipes, the fact that it's leaning kind of over in that pouncy type stance. All these elements go to making your classic hot rod. But if you like what you see, again, leave me a subscribe, leave me a like. If you want me to do any others or stay away from hot rods, just leave a comment in the comment section. But do keep it nice. But I'll catch you on the next video, and all the best. Thank you very much. Bye bye.